We had a drill because regularly we have to have drills now because of, protocol thing. We had a drill in second period, 8, 9 or something like, or 9. It was like 9 to 10 to 11 or something like that. And then fast forward again to later in the day, we hear the fire alarm. Everyone was confused because we already had a fire drill today. Why was the fire alarm going off again? That's what everyone was like wondering. So we all just went outside. We stood there for like 1 minute. Within 1 minute, there were like 4 police cars there. My teacher was standing there because he didn't know what was happening. No one did. He thought it was a fire drill. And then eventually he was like, okay, let's go, because everyone was shifting fast. And I mean, there's like 3,000 kids there. Everyone was shifting away from the school. So within like the next 3 minutes, there had to have been like at least 50 cars there. I kept telling people around me, okay, this is not anything serious until I see a helicopter. And within like a few more minutes, I ended up seeing a helicopter. But I got reports from people around me. They were telling me, oh, this is a code black, which means bomb. That was the new thing that we learned. And then people were like, no, it's code red. It's code red, which means active shooter. So my friend took my phone from me, and he used it to call his mom because he didn't have his phone. He thought it was a fire drill. He was just going to leave it in the classroom. So he tried to call his mom. His mom answered, and he was like, Mom, there's an active shooter here. There's an active shooter. A teacher came up out of nowhere and said, don't tell her that. Be quiet. Don't tell anybody. And he was like, shut up. And the teacher walked up, snatched the phone away from him, and it looked like he was going to break my phone. I was like, no, that's my phone. He was like, don't give it back. Don't tell anyone.
If you are receiving this transmission, you are the resistance.
The globalists are losing, but they're doubling down their attacks. There's one thing they fear, and it's people power. InfoWars has defeated their censorship so far only because of you spreading the links, spreading the articles, subscribing, clicking the notification buttons, and getting the articles and videos out. But they are intensifying their censorship, so now it's more important than ever to ensure we keep the First Amendment alive and well right here in America and free speech worldwide. So from Australia to countries in Africa, to Europe, to Mexico, to right here in the USA, I salute you all for taking action and defending free speech. We will prevail.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have over-the-top bombshell news right now, less than 24 hours into the tragic mass shooting in Florida at the high school there. We have eyewitness reports on video of seniors and students like Alexa Meadnick saying that she heard shots going off on the other side, down the hallway on the other side of the building. And then there was the reported shooter, Nicholas Cruz, that she knew, and she knew had been expelled the year before. And she said, boy, I'd expect you to be the person involved in the mass shooting. But she said it wasn't him, and that she could hear the shooting going off. I've already played that clip twice since the broadcast started 34 minutes ago. Then we've been contacted, and we've seen his ID. We've checked his social media. He is who he says he is. He's Jalen Martin. He is a senior. We can show you his YouTube channel. And Jalen Martin has reported to us that 4 weeks ago there was a Secret Service SWAT team drill at the school for some reason. He'd already asked why it was going on. And then he now has talked to the faculty and has some very interesting developments to go over. And I know, why is this so important? We're not saying the Secret Service, the local police, or anybody are involved in this. If there is a cover-up or multiple shooters, as witnesses are saying, credible witnesses. We're saying this because if they run drills, it's used by criminal groups who order the drill or who are able to use the drill as a cover for later operations. So many times false flags are accompanied by a drill before and generally on the day of. And Jalen Martin, a senior at Marjory, Stoneman, Douglas High School, again, just about 40 minutes north of Miami, is joining us. But the context here is the background. KHOU, Matt Muzell, was in Florida covering the big baseball tryouts. He's the top sports reporter on KHOU, very respected channel, top channel in Houston. And we're now getting reports that other people said that there were shootings on both ends of the building going on. Now, just like Vegas, it turned out that top acoustics experts listened to the audio and there were multiple shooters. And now they are looking into multiple shooters. And they admit there's been some type of cover-up. And there was this big Saudi Arabian military conference happening that weekend. And Paddock was a gun runner, and he had gone to the Middle East. We broke all that the day after. Just like we're covering all this the day after. So I'm just setting the table there that we don't just go into things and say, oh, it's a false flag, oh, it's fake. Sometimes stuff is exactly like they say, and we are saying real people were shot. The media will, of course, say that I say no one shot. That's a hoax they always put out because they're fake news. They're also saying Trump blamed the victims. There's no such tweets, no such statements. CNN, MSNBC, they're all lying. So joining us for this segment, the next, is Jalen Martin. We appreciate his courage, reaching out to us as a listener and getting us a student ID and all his info. And so here he joins us, senior at the high school. First, I want to give him my condolences for any friends he may have lost or what happened. So you've got the floor of this segment, the next, and longer if you need it, to talk about what happened, your view, the Secret Service, the SWAT drill, what faculty told you. Did you know or ever talk to Nicholas Cruz, the reported lone gunman, a.k.a. Tim McVeigh, a.k.a. Lee Harvey Oswald? I mean, did you talk? Did you know this fella? Thank you for joining us, Jalen.
Yes, Alex. So I'd like to start off with saying I don't know Nick, but I've possibly seen him around. You know, there's a lot of oddball people that you meet in high school. But I just want to jump into 4 weeks ago when the Secret Service stuff started happening. So it was sort of like a random thing. I think it happened like right after a weekend or something. The teachers, every single one of them was instructed to tell us like this new drill, like where our zones were for each class. And, you know, every single day they would tell us. And then I talked to one of my teachers. In fact, it was the same teacher that I ended up being with, you know, yesterday when all of this went down. And he said that the Secret Service came and trained them on what the new safety protocols would be. And I don't understand why the Secret Service was, you know, the ones who were doing it, because I would think that, you know, firefighters or police officers would be the ones to do this. And so I kind of disregarded it. Fast forward to yesterday. We had a drill because regularly we have to have drills now because of, you know, protocol thing. We had a drill in second period, you know, 8, 9 or something like, or 9. It was like 9 to 10 to 11 or something like that. And then fast forward again to later in the day, we hear the fire alarm. Everyone was confused because we already had a fire drill today. Why was the fire alarm going off again? That's what everyone was like wondering. So we all just went outside. We stood there for like 1 minute. Within 1 minute, there were like 4 police cars there. My teacher was standing there because he didn't know what was happening. No one did. He thought it was a fire drill. And then eventually he was like, okay, let's go, because everyone was shifting fast. And I mean, there's like 3,000 kids there. Everyone was shifting away from the school. So within like the next 3 minutes, there had to have been like at least 50 cars there. I kept telling people around me, okay, this is not anything serious until I see a helicopter. And within like a few more minutes, I ended up seeing a helicopter. But I got reports from people around me. They were telling me, oh, this is a code black, which means bomb. That was the new thing that we learned. And then people were like, no, it's code red. It's code red, which means active shooter. So my friend took my phone from me, and he used it to call his mom because he didn't have his phone. He thought it was a fire drill. He was just going to leave it in the classroom. So he tried to call his mom. His mom answered, and he was like, Mom, there's an active shooter here. There's an active shooter. A teacher came up out of nowhere and said, don't tell her that. Be quiet. Don't tell anybody. And he was like, shut up. And the teacher walked up, snatched the phone away from him, and it looked like he was going to break my phone. I was like, no, that's my phone. He was like, don't give it back. Don't tell anyone. So after that, me and him, like, sped up and tried to, like, go through the crowd. Like, I've never been so congested with people before. At one point, I tried to, like, turn around and walk back to the school because I wasn't sure what was happening. And I sort of, like, felt inside, like, there's something wrong. What can I do to stop this? I was being pushed forward and pushed forward.
Excuse me, you're telling me that after it starts coming out that there's an active shooter, code red, you're overhearing all this, 50 police cars, a helicopter, you were pushed back in the school?
No. I was pushed away from the school.
Good. Okay, good.
Go back because I wasn't sure what was happening. And, you know, other kids, there were like, you know, 1,000+ kids there. They're pushing me farther away from the school, so I didn't get to go back.
Oh, I understand. Well, that makes sense. Okay, continue, please.
Yeah. And then, so then what happened was I let my friend, you know, use my phone, and we tried to get away from the teacher. And he called his mom back, and he was like, "Mom, there's an active shooter. And a second helicopter showed up. At that point, everyone started running. Like, people were tripping, and people were just trying to run away. And I didn't hear the gunshots, really, but I got told by someone that I talked to a little bit later that, yeah, there had to have been like 2 people, because he was like, I was in the building close to it, but I wasn't in the building that the shooter was in. That building that the shooter was in has 3 floors. So, you know, there's been reports that he had a gas mask and threw the smoke bombs down, and people heard explosions. That's what first tipped people off. They, like, sort of were confused because there was a fire alarm. And at that point, it's just like people sort of got chaotic once they, like, sort of kind of, like, knew what was happening. No one knew for sure because the teachers wouldn't let us call. I was, like, trying, like, really hard to get away from that one teacher. But people got out of there. And then I talked to my teacher last night afterwards, and I asked him, I was like, you said there were Secret Service agents here.
Jalen, oh my gosh, stay right there. We got to go to break. Jalen Martin, we're going to come right back and repeat what you just said. What I just think you just said. Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, my head is on fire right now with this. We've got KPRC with witnesses of multiple shooters. Now, I knew I'd seen it in newspapers. Now we have KHOU. We have KPRC, a lot of Texas stations there because they were having baseball tryouts for some of the Texas teams there. And so a lot of Texas TV stations there talking to eyewitnesses are like, yeah, there's shots going off of here, over there. I saw the shooter while shooting was going on. She didn't have a gun. I mean, it's crazy. And I was just talking to Jalen Martin, who is a senior there. We've got a student ID. He's got a YouTube channel, Jalen Martin. He's just uploaded some videos now dealing with talking to some of the locals. So he's going to be uploading more videos today. So who knows, maybe he'll become a reporter for InfoWars. But Jalen Martin, laying on us, recapping what you said. You talked to friends that said they thought there were multiple shooters. The Secret Service had a drill there. Just other points. I was asking you, what are your friends? What are people you're talking to? Because school's out today. I'm just repeating what you told me during the break. And you said he's very easily led, kind of almost like autistic, like that you could do anything you wanted. That's why nobody was his friend, was because he obviously had some serious, saddening mental issues. This guy sounds like the perfect cutout, like Sirhan, if people know about what happened with the RFK. That was totally, the local coroners said that he was shot from behind, not from in front. Sirhan's arm was wedged on the table in the kitchen. He did not shoot Robert F. Kennedy. So that's a little bit of background. This is really getting bad, folks. This looks just like Vegas. So just recapping everything and the points you haven't made here, Jalen, because this is, and we've got new video on top of the other videos we're going to play as well of more eyewitnesses saying multiple shooters. Please continue. But you're saying you talked to witnesses that said the same thing. Please elaborate.
Yeah, I talked to a guy who had a class with him, and he said he was just really weird. He did everything that people told him to do. It was like he just wanted friends, but it was more like like there was obviously mental issues with this guy. And it was like, when he told me that, I kind of like thought to myself, okay, that makes sense in a way, you know? And it's like, when people are compliant like that, to that degree that he specified, there's so many things that they could do just from someone telling them to do it. We still don't know exactly why he did this. At least they haven't released why he did this. But I feel like whatever he says is not probably going to sound exactly right. So they're going to try to, cut around the story and make it sound, okay, he did this because someone didn't like him here and there. But he obviously had anger issues as well. I talked to another friend who has like interacted with him at his work at Dollar Tree, and she said that, you know, she interacted with him at his work because she accidentally left her stuff, but she came back to get it, and he was like, "Can I have your number?" And she said, "Yeah." So she gave him the home phone number, and then, you know, he tried to call, she didn't answer, and then he got her cell phone number. I don't know how this guy got her cell phone number. He doesn't talk to anybody out here, not really, at least. So in the context of that, I think there was something weird going on. He ran up to her the next time he saw her and went in her face to, like, F-U-B, and I'm sorry, I know this is a family show.
No, it's okay. So very sounds like the classic type that is shuttered, very insecure, somewhat autistic, and then doesn't understand normal human behavior, like he should invite her out to the movies or a restaurant or to get coffee or, you know, the comic book store or whatever, or, you know, go for a jog. Instead, when she doesn't answer right away, he flips out. So it sounds like a video game TV head that never made real relationships, and, you know, very nihilistic from what we heard, into all sorts of stuff on the internet, left, right, and center. I mean, that's the MO we're getting. And so it could have been him as the shooter. I'm just zeroing in. Have you seen the video of senior there at the high school, Alexa Mednick, who says that she knew him and talked to him, and there he was as shots are going off, and that she thinks there were multiple shooters?
One more little interesting thing about that is he dropped the gun and blended in with all the crowd, and then left. If I had walked home, I just went to Starbucks because it's right there, and I waited for my mom to pick me up. But if I had walked home, I would have been walking beside him because he was caught literally on my street. And that's the thing about that is they were pillaging through, you know, the school, and I heard that there were still shots after like 30 minutes or so. I heard there were still shots. I don't know if that was police officers or what, but that's what I heard. And if that is true, then there's no way, because he would not. I know exactly how long it takes to walk to my house because I've walked this route for 2 years.
Sure. So you're saying the official story doesn't add up, and over and over and over again, we now know. You said you've been a listener a few years. We're talking during the break. I mean, Vegas now, they admit the official story is not true, and the guy was a gun runner. Well, we first got that from FBI sources the day after, and he'd gone to the Middle East. I mean, we're not saying we know exactly what happened. We're just saying we've been lied to, and credible sources are telling us that. What does your gut tell you is going on here, Jalen Martin? Again, there at the high school, the majority Stoneman Douglas High School in Florida.
I think my gut's screaming at me right now. Look for whatever is happening, because what's happening, at least what they say is happening, isn't really all of it. I think that the Secret Service had some indication weeks ago that something like this was going to happen. So they decided, okay, we need to make up an escape plan for all these kids and stuff like that, just in case. But they didn't tell. I don't think they told the teachers either, because my teacher would have gave me some indication as to why. Because I asked him, you know, why are they doing all this? Why is the Secret Service here? He was like, I don't know. And I asked him last night, did they have some indication that something might happen? He said they didn't explicitly say anything. So I don't think the teachers knew. My teacher would have at least hinted at it if he was told not to say anything. But this is like, you know, this is like something you really don't expect to happen at your school.
Jalen, in your own words, because you got cut off by the last break, you were getting into your friends coming out, people that knew him as well, but I don't want to put words in your mouth. Repeat what you were trying to finish when you talked about people that you talked to saying multiple shooters as well. As we have a lot of witnesses coming forward, more video clips coming up in the next segment of You'll Ride Shotgun with us a few more minutes. But just briefly, what specifically did your friends and classmates say they thought?
Okay, so they said that after the school was clear and everyone was, you know, mostly gone, I think one of the people I talked to said they talked to, I can't remember her name, but, you know, the girl who's in that video who was like, there was multiple shooters. She said that he was with her, I think. And the weird thing about that is, if she was with her, and then she heard the shots too, this is two people in the same place who heard these shots that obviously he couldn't have done. So I think there's those
All right, Jalen, I know school's off today, but I know you're busy, and you've gotten in a windy spot. I know you're walking around outside. So let me put you on hold. If you can do 5 more minutes, I want to come back, try to get you in a spot where it's audible, and we're going to come right back to you. We appreciate your courage, but I want to get this clear, because I'm having trouble getting the last part. You're crystal clear, more articulate than I am, and most of my other crew around here, when your phone's clear, it's the phone that is being inarticulate here. So we're going to try to get to a spot where the wind is not blowing in the receiver. I'm going to get to it next hour. We put this out on the web from the live show. We'll put the clips on the front and the back of more people coming forward. KPRC, KHOU saying, oh yeah, multiple shooters, you name it. That's all coming up when we come back. I've got a plug though. We're not going to be here. The crew keeps pointing that out to me. We've got 50% off all of the Super Blue fluoride-free toothpaste. Again, ladies and gentlemen, we have 50% off the super high-quality fluoride-free toothpaste. And it's fortified with colloidal silver. It's fortified with high-quality iodine. And we use one of the top firms in the country that produces some of the top lines of organic toothpaste. But I can tell you right now that some of the top lines of organic toothpaste have about 50 cents to $1 worth of product in them. We put up to $3, depending on the run, because stuff costs different each run, $2 to $3 in each tube. And then when we sell it for $11, $12, that's a good deal. At $7.47 at 50% off right now, it's basically a loss leader for us, but I want you to see how great it is. And your purchase does help the broadcast. So the Super Blue fluoride-free mouthwash with colloidal silver and iodine, the Super Blue toothpaste for adults and children. We have 2 different types. It's available. An additional 10% off when you sign up for auto ship each month or every 2-3 months. You can cancel anytime, and you get an additional 10% off, and that way you get it in your mail every 15, 30, 42, 60, or 90 days. InfoWarsStore.com, InfoWarsLife.com, or 888-253-3139. And a bunch of other big specials are about to end as well. 50% off on the liver and kidney cleanse, Icarin, super high-powered, super high quality, only $19.95 and 50% off. That's our latest product. I want you to see how great it is. Cell Force Plus, 53% off. That's going to be called DNA Force Plus very soon. And a bunch of other products. Those discounts are going to have to end early next week, so take advantage of that and fund a cutting-edge organization that will cover the news the globalists don't want you to be aware of.
You know, someone very profoundly once said many years ago that if fascism ever comes to America, it'll come in the name of liberalism.
I'm a nasty woman.
If you are receiving this transmission, you are the resistance.
InfoWars comes to mind.
Alex Jones.
Alex Jones.
Alex Jones.
There's a lot of controversy around this network about Alex Jones.
Google is being accused of hiding negative stories about Hillary and her campaign by changing its algorithm to bury stories like the Clinton body count story. That's according to website InfoWars.
It sounds like it's confirmed there are at least 2 shooters with fully automatic weapons.
Dr. Martin Luther King has been shot to death in Memphis, Tennessee.
JFK was shot from the back and the front.
It was almost as if it were a planned implosion. It just pancaked.
They took the babies out of incubators and left the children to die on the front floor.
I think this is a national security imperative. We have clear things that we do not understand how they work, operating in areas that we can't control.
UFOs.
Is this global governance at last? Is it one world? The central bank is in charge.
Israel claims the attack was accidental, but some former U.S. naval officers say it was on purpose. They describe the day's action as part of a continuing cover-up.
Russian intelligence compiled a dossier on Mr. Trump during visits to Moscow.
Russian scum!
Denied everything. He called it all fake news.
And he accused CNN of being fake news.
This is a national emergency.
If they kill Trump or remove Trump, it will cause a massive civil war in this country.
This is a FEMA high-level alert.
We are at war with Russia.
Are you aware that Mr. Stone also stated publicly that he was in direct communication with Julian Assange and WikiLeaks?
The White House and the President are citing InfoWars.
They could shut us down. You're next.
If you are receiving this transmission, you are the resistance. It's Alex Jones.
As the InfoWars family of listeners and viewers know, we are always researching and bringing you the very cutting edge of high-quality products. And that's especially true when it comes to nutraceuticals and supplements. We know that our modern environment is bombarding our guts with all sorts of toxins and heavy metals and pesticides, herbicides that basically kill the good flora. We have been working for several years with top researchers in the United States to bring you 3 new, top-of-the-line, affordable probiotics that are true game changers. Now, the first is a digestive enzyme that I'm extremely excited about. All of us know that if you eat a lot of meat and a lot of protein, and you don't chew it properly, sometimes there's buildup. It can even rot inside your guts, causing diverticulitis, you name it. You don't get the good micronutrients that are in it as well. Well, Carnivore from InfoWars Life, ladies and gentlemen, is the next level of digestive enzyme. And when you take it, combined with the new Flora Life that I'm going to break down here in a moment, and also the everyday Flora Life maintenance, they synergistically work together. The globalists are bombarding our gut. They know it's the key to taking control of civilization and society. It is the true Trojan horse. And whether it's our new digestive enzyme, Carnivore, or whether it's the new Flora Life Advanced Restoration, or the Flora Life Everyday Maintenance, it is critical for you and your family to have healthy guts, and it is undoubted that there are serious benefits from proven high-quality probiotics. There are some similar formulas out there that are at least 3 times the cost of this. And people think because they're paying more, it must be the best. That's not my philosophy, ladies and gentlemen. I'm bringing you something that is the very best from our deep research, working with top developers, scientists, and experts in the field at the lowest price. But whether you take 1, 2, or all 3, I have never experienced the type of energy and the type of digestive ease and the changes that I went through in the last few months going on this formula before we brought it to you. We believe from working with top experts in the United States that we have developed the very best probiotic and digestive enzyme for breaking down protein and meat that there is. This is the total win-win. It uses the modern techniques as well, so it doesn't have all the additives and garbage. Simply put, our new Flora Life line is the very best out there. That is my goal here, is to bring you the very best at the lowest price. Many probiotics out there don't even have caplets that bypass the stomach, so it never even gets into the upper and lower intestines. Both of these systems have targeted delivery, so it goes right through into the upper and lower intestine. We've tried several other formulas that were excellent, but this is, after 2 years of research, what we are bringing to the market. And your purchase doesn't just give you better digestive health and all the different micronutrients and things you need. It also funds an organization dedicated to promoting liberty worldwide. Whether it's Flora Life Advanced Restoration, Carnivore, digestive enzyme, or the everyday maintenance that's great for the go, it's all available at InfoWarsStore.com today. And when you purchase it, you know you are also financing the attack on the globalist and the defense of our republic and freedom worldwide.